Hey guys, just wanted to do a little update here to kind of like what we're doing with the whole Slamfire Media project, and as well as give an update on a video that we just released. So real quick, just going through everything. So as you can see, our little title screen kind of changed a little bit. I added on there our Slamfire Media account on Gab. So Gab is going to be do I have it up? Yes. So Gab is going to be our main social media type platform that we're going to use to uh, let you guys know whenever we upload a new video, right? So usually with my schedule the way it's been, I really only allot one day to upload. So the day that I record and the day that I upload is not necessarily the same day. It's a little process that I have to go through, and it's just the way that it is for now. But I figured it should be easier for you guys to know when we drop a video, right? So I figured instead of you guys just guessing, oh, are they going to upload Saturday? Are they going to upload Sunday? Whatever. You guys don't have to worry about that if you guys are on Gab. I highly recommend you guys use Gab. I really like Gab. I just I find it so much more easier to navigate than Twitter. I mean that's unfair to say because I rarely use Twitter, and I'm sure if I use Twitter more and more, it would make more sense to me. But I just never really liked Twitter. The community is incredibly toxic. It's insane. Here on Gab, it doesn't seem so much. You know, it's very much a free speech type of platform, and I feel on Twitter that I have to be very careful with the things that I say and the things that I post because you just never know, right? Whereas Gab, I feel as if you can really you're really free to say what you think, whether it's correct, incorrect. You don't have to worry about quote unquote misinformation, right? Being banned for misinformation, saying something you're not supposed to, right? Unless you're saying something absolutely crazy or posting something like, pornography or something like that, I can understand that. There's a time and a place for that other stuff. But when it comes to what we're doing here, our project here, I think it works out really well for us. So if you guys have a Gab account, it's basically like a Twitter. It's an alternative to Twitter and things like that. So I highly recommend you guys follow us at Slamfire Media. And every time I upload, I post a little. They call them Gabs. I guess they just call them Gabs. I post up a Gab and letting you guys know that hey, I posted up episode 15 is ready. Episode 16 is ready. And I only recently started doing this, so you guys aren't missing out. See, this was like this was my first post, which was January 23rd, and no one has really commented. We don't have any followers or anything like that, so this is fresh, brand new. I just recently started doing this, so you're not missing out on anything. This has just started not too long ago. Okay, so following us on Gab will give you updates on when we actually upload for that week, right? So later on, I would like to upload more consistently, so this will help out too. So that's already in place. Secondly, the big important update. So recently, we had our episode just drop fairly recently, which was yesterday. This was not recorded yesterday. I don't record and upload at the same time. Sometimes I do, depending on my schedule, but for the most part, I usually upload I usually record something and then I'll take time to upload it later because it's a whole process, a whole thing that I have to do. I have to update the website, then I have to post on each individual site, whether it's YouTube, BitChute, Rumble. So it takes some time, and I usually don't have time to do all of that in one shot. So when I uploaded this, everything was pretty much accurate. We did talk about certain things that I wanted to give an update on, and things have transpired which kind of affect that. So the message is still clear. The good cop, bad cop. If you haven't watched the episode, just a quick little summary right here. It's basically just talking about how there's pros and cons to having a police presence, law enforcement, right? But uh, ultimately, it's our responsibility to protect ourselves and our family, right? And that's what I kind of push, right? And willingly we shouldn't be so willing to give away our freedoms and our safety and everything like that just to the police officer and say, hey, take whatever you need and just protect me, right? That's a very dangerous. I still believe that that's a very dangerous thing to do. So the message still stands. I did want to give an update on something that we talked about though. We talked about the Freedom Convoy, right? So back to the Washington Post, right? Democracy dies in darkness. So let's keep everything in. It's a There was a joke that it was not a joke. It was just the irony of it that this hasn't really been getting the press that it should be getting. Like all those things that I was talking about before, how the convoys are doing all of these, they're basically doing humanitarian efforts where they're giving people food, they're providing services for homeless people. Like they're helping the community wherever they go to, wherever this convoy goes to, and they set up shop. They're basically helping the community around them. So we talked about that before. It's hard for these news outlets to dig up dirt on them because there is no dirt. They're peacefully protesting, and in they are providing positivity and overall goodness to the community around them when they are there. So I wanted to give an update on this. So I didn't use this picture. I had used a different picture in the video, and in that video, it showed like there was a bunch of trucks and a bunch of things lined up on the roads, and I used the example like, what if they're blocking the road and there's an ambulance on the other side and they can't get to it? So that's actually not true. All of the I recently videos have been dropping last night, and I wanted to give this update so that I'm not portraying this in a bad light either, because this is a very good positive thing, and I talked about this in the video. I really support this. I really like what these guys are doing. They are not doing anything illegal. They're following the rules, and they're peacefully protesting, and that's really really cool. I love how because this goes back to our other video. If you guys didn't see it, it's how we win. We talked about the example that it doesn't matter how we get to the end, just so that we get to the end, right? So it doesn't matter how many laws you break, how many ethics violations how many ethics violations you completely destroy, and it doesn't matter who you kick down to get to the top, right? It's just like everyone's out to get themselves, and it doesn't matter how you win. It's just that you win, right? And I didn't like that, right? I didn't like the idea of it doesn't matter how you do it, just so long as it gets done. And I have this thing about me where it's like I don't want to just do something and get it done. I like the idea that it needs to be done right. And that's what these people are doing. They're following all the rules. They're leaving spaces open. I saw a video. I highly recommend you guys research this. I'm not going to play the video or anything like that, but you guys can look it up. They're all on Twitter and YouTube. YouTube has them up, so you guys can check it out. If it's up on YouTube, it's probably up wherever else you watch our videos, right? BitChute or Rumble, whatever. Twitter even has them up too. So I highly recommend you check out these videos, because it shows a meeting that these I guess the convoy ambassadors, I don't know what you want to call them, these leaders of the convoy, the people that are being used to represent the message of the convoy. These people got together and they had a little video, and in that video they explained that they're following all the rules, and they're making sure that pathways are open, so that if there is EMS or people that are trying to go to work or trying to go wherever they need to go, they're not impeding on other people's rights. They are still protesting, and they're still getting their message across while they are maintaining other people's rights as well. They don't want to infringe on anybody's rights. So these guys are doing everything. They're going above and beyond their simple protest, right? They're making sure that their protest doesn't impede on other people's rights, and that is awesome. Like it just makes me even much more supportive of it. But big caveat, if you guys already read right here, Canadian police make arrests amid Freedom Convoy protests and seize fuel and vehicles. So when was this? Right here, today at 5:30 in the morning. So this is brand new stuff, guys, that's coming out. And my phone is already going off already. Let me update that really quick, because I don't want to be hearing that. So things transpired and things are happening. So I had used this as an example before, that there are police who are using their discretion to say, like, hey, these guys are helping out the community. We're not going to enforce these trespassing laws. We're not going to enforce whatever laws they may be breaking. And that's the thing. They couldn't enforce those laws because they weren't breaking any laws. Maybe they were breaking laws of, like, being parked in a place that they're not supposed to be parked in after a certain time, right? Like there's certain places in cities that says that you can only be parked here from 9 in the morning to 7 o'clock at night or something like that. You can't be parked in the evening hours, and maybe those are the laws that they're breaking. But I originally thought that that this is an example of a good police officer, that they are using their discretion and saying, hey, these people are ultimately, they're not hurting anybody, they're protesting peacefully, all they're doing is taking up some extra parking spots. Like, come on now, like, am I really going to enforce a law like that when they're not hurting anybody? They're really not hurting anybody. And you can't say that they are blocking traffic and keeping essential services from getting to where they need to be, because they're not doing that. If they were doing that, we would have heard reports on it, and we talked about that in our episode 16 as well. But the crackdown has started. The crackdown has started. Police are clamping down on self-described Freedom Convoy anti-vaccine demonstrations in Canada capital, making multiple arrests and issuing hundreds of tickets, seizing vehicles and fuel as Ottawa's mayor declares a state of emergency. So they are already starting to try to shut this down. So now there is no veil. The veil is gone. So if there was any inkling that the government, the police, that these people are working to protect an individual's freedom, an individual's First Amendment, an individual's right to speak, that is gone. That is gone. So if you watch these videos, these police are loading up fuel. So they have a lot of fuel tanks and a lot of canisters and things like that that are in safe containers. They are approved containers to be carrying. They are approved containers to be carrying fuel and diesel and everything like that. They are coming and seizing all that. They're taking away their resources, and they're trying to what's the word that I'm looking for? There's a good word that I can't think of, but they're basically trying to snuff them out through their resources. They're taking away their ability of attrition, right? So attrition has to do with just braving the storm, taking in as much as you can and just dealing with it, basically winning through sheer will and dedication, right? That's what attrition is. And one way that you defeat someone through attrition, you speed up the attrition, is by taking away their resources. And that's what they're doing here. They're taking away their fuel that power their generators and their trucks and everything like that, that allows them to cook their food, heat their trailers, heat their their furnaces, and use their whatever it is that they're using for power, food, and basically to sustain themselves, right? Power, food, and shelter, right? They're trying to get rid of those, so that they're forcing them to leave. They want them to stop protesting and leave, even though they are protesting peacefully. So basically, this update was to say that police are no longer using their discretion. They are being ordered by their mayor, their chief of police, whoever's ordering it. They're being given orders to do something, and they're doing it. So this would not be a good example of a good cop, right? So a good cop is someone who protects an individual's rights and freedoms as portrayed in the Constitution, right? Usually that's kind of the overall arching purpose of police, to protect and serve the public good, right? To protect and serve someone's individual rights, constitutional rights, right? That's their job. They're not doing that anymore. So they're taking their orders, and they're willing to say, I'm just doing my job. These are just, someone told me to do it, and I'm just doing it. I'm very much on the side that these people became the enemy. They kind of became the enemy to the people, because they are going against what they swore an oath to do. So they are no longer part of their community. They are no longer serving the best interest of the people. So they are now basically adhering to the will of the government, the, big brother, whatever you want to call it, right? The establishment, I guess. So this was the update that I wanted to give you guys. There are things going down right now. They want to shut this down, and the way that they're going about doing it, I can understand it. It's a tactic. It is whatever. But the shame is that I feel as if these police officers, maybe they won't. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like these police officers will see what happens 10, 20 years down the road. They're going to look back and they're going to realize that they were on the wrong side of history. And it's a shame. But that's leads to our good cop, bad cop thing, right? We have our pros and we have our cons. There are a lot of good cops out there. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good cops out there. But this is just another fine example of why we need some sort of reform. We need more checks and balances on who we allow to protect our constitution, protect protect our rights, right? Because we can see how fallible it is, right? Man is extremely fallible, so we need men and women are extremely fallible, so we need a system, a checks and balance system in place so that we can make sure that no one can take advantage of us, right? And if someone starts taking advantage of us, starts impeding in our rights, we need the ability to remove them and replace them with someone who will, right? That needs to be done. So again, guys, I just wanted to give that little update. This was bothering me. I didn't want to give a bad, false narrative or anything like that. I wanted to give you guys as much of the facts as possible. But the overall message is still there. The good cop, bad cop message, that still hasn't changed. I just wanted to give a quick update on what was happening with that Freedom Convoy because I really support it and I really want these guys' voices to be heard. All these people that are involved in this, they're doing a tremendous thing. This is a big thing to organize, and it's not something that should be taken lightheartedly. And I didn't want to give out a false message without you guys being unaware of it as well, right? I didn't think that that would be responsible, right? We're not a news type of project or anything like that. We're not a news outlet or anything like that, but still I want to get the facts straight as much as I can, and especially with something as important as this. So either way, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our video. This was just a quick little update. Thanks for watching. Remember, check us out on Gab at Slamfire Media. You guys take it easy.